On the 6th of March 1812, 3 believers met at the Rocks in Sydney. In July that year, they cried out to their UK brothers, "Send us a preacher, lest we die in our sins." One man responded, Reverend Samuel Lee. From 1815 to 1884, the Sydney's inner city church grew, flourished, and then declined. The Reverend William George Taylor, a young evangelist, was appointed, and the church was given 1 year of reprieve. Reverend Taylor, the first of 9 superintendents to date, all with one mission. A mission to offer hope for the marginalised and those in need, to extend advocacy, to speak out and support a cause, to deliver innovation, services that lead the way, and to ignite faith, spreading the good news through word and deed. From the most humble of beginnings, Wesley Mission has been offering hope for the marginalised and the needy in our community, from support for children to programs for broken families.
And the coordinator came over to visit me, and the whole time she was there, I just sat on the couch and cried. And it was that really made me realise just what a mess things had deteriorated to.
The Operation Hope program, one of many that provides an opportunity for children to shine.
And their sole job is just to love these kids. We had a special care teacher write us a letter to thank us once. The letter said that we had done more for this one girl in 6 days than 6 years of special school had been able to do for her.
From the early 1800s, Wesley Mission has housed, fed, clothed and cared for the homeless.
Those who are forced to live upon government relief allowances, who pay high rents, who try unsuccessfully to follow the high cost of living, find the mission's evening distribution of food a great boon.
This place used to be my winter home when I was in the streets. Wesley means to me my life. If I didn't have them, I wouldn't be here.
Well, I was asked to look after a congregation that had about 12 elderly folk and about 12 Sunday school children. And I saw 2 men sitting in the gutter across the road, and it occurred to me to invite them to church. The next Sunday, those 2 brought another 4 with them, and that made 6. And the following Sunday, those 6 brought another 6, and that made 12. And the following Sunday, we had 18. And then I started going around the parks inviting them to come. And exactly a year later, we had over 200 of them.
Our focus to attend to our elderly began to increase in the late 1920s, building on a sterling reputation for providing outstanding care.
With the exception of my mother, she's done more for me than anybody else in my 78 years. And I'll do anything I can to promote what the Wesley Mission is doing in general, and in particular what Hagar has done for me and probably for other people too.
Since inception, we've been an advocate for many who cannot speak for themselves.
But we would give you a word of gratitude for allowing us to come here to your union headquarters and for you to form the audience at this lunchtime period.
Our television programs have spread the good news since 1958. The powerful tool providing an opportunity to band people together to help others when times are tough.
I'm going to give you a cheque for you and your husband to get rid of some of those debts and to get next year's crop in.
I don't know whether I should take this. Someone out there, I'm sure.
No. I've had 5 people recommend you, and they've all said that Karen and her husband needs it. That's $10,000 to help you get the next crop in.
Oh, I don't know what to say. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. My kids can talk about Christmas.
We've got some stuff for your kids too. God bless you, Karen, and your husband, and your kids.
Thank you so much.
I just can't believe that there is a God, isn't there? We've spoken up for the marginalised during strikes and spoken out during times of conflict and joined forces with leaders of social justice both here and abroad. Our annual Wesley Report series has successfully raised awareness and prompted action in the areas of mental health, homelessness, financial stress, children and family.
This really is a much needed and important body of work.
With the help of corporate partners, we've launched new initiatives developed by dedicated staff to support youth on the streets, and we've celebrated mergers when other advocacy operations stumble.
Well, before Wesley Mission came along as our fairy godmother, we were in dire straits. Aunties and uncles would have closed after nearly 40 years.
We've been committed to building on our work in employment and education. From Newington College and Evangelist Institute in the 1800s, training continues to play an important role at Wesley Mission through the Wesley Vocational Institute. We've also been recognised as leaders in developing programs that can save lives.
And I'm pleased to announce that the federal government will contribute $100,000 so that the Wesley Mission can continue their outstanding work.
And we remain focused on providing an ever-growing range of services for people with disabilities.
I've been working here 12 years and I don't know where else I could go. It's fun because I only work 4 days a week.
Wesley Mission stands on the shoulders of those that have gone before. Lifeline is one of many innovative services that have led the way and continues to spread worldwide.
Lord Mayor Jensen, the centre, a project of the Methodist Central Mission, will maintain a 24 hours a day service to people who want help, and particularly people with emotional problems.
The credit card boom soon saw Lifeline expand to offer another service, and our commitment to help get people out of debt continues with the recent release of Wesley Mission's In Charge of My Money program and ongoing one-on-one gambling and financial counselling support.
After Jacob was born, the business had gone down. The sheriffs came to basically kick me out of the house. They said, you've got 2 weeks, we have to change the locks, everything needs to be sold from the shop, from the house to recoup hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt. Through the help of Wesley and through the help of Joe, the weight of the world has just gone off my shoulders, and I think if it wasn't for her, I really don't know where I would be.
Our dedication to healthcare is also well renowned. Wesley Mission was the first to offer private Christian psychiatric care in New South Wales. Today we also offer support through rehabilitation programs for those suffering from eating disorders, self-harm and drug and alcohol addiction.
I was all alone. And so then left to my own devices, I began to drink on a daily basis. I remember that man making that call for me and him saying, if you want to change, I'll help you.
In its inception, 400 people lined up to enrol for school for seniors. 50 years on, and it remains to be a vital link for the over 55s. Our work at Wesley Mission has always stood on a foundation of faith. From the pleasant Sunday afternoon program to evangelism with a twist.
The Central Methodist Mission's Fellowship House in Sydney starts a Saturday night teenage cabaret. He waggles his pelvis better than Elvis. The Reverend Alan Walker devised the cabaret to give teenagers something to do in a Christian atmosphere. And there's nothing killjoy about this kind of religion. And if those tapping feet mean anything, Alan Walker doesn't knock the rock either.
We celebrated Easter at a drive-in before moving the televised service to an Aussie icon. And we've spread the message of God's love in Sydney's inner city at Christmas. Our work has and continues to link the man on the street to the life of Wesley Mission. During the Sydney Olympics, our Pitt Street headquarters hosted a 2-week-long Christian outreach featuring many athletes including Joe Deluge and Carl Lewis.
I'm happy to be here, praising with you.
Spring Fair became a significant event in 1914, one of our biggest fundraisers. The annual event could not run without the ongoing support of our dedicated volunteers. More than 3,300 people have clocked up more than 187,000 hours of volunteer service in the past year alone. On the pastoral front, volunteers from Wesley International Congregation have also spread God's love in action in relief work among poor communities overseas. Chaplaincy also playing a vital role in our annual Life Force Memorial Service.
There was a foreboding that this day was not going to be the norm. My young husband had done the unthinkable.